So hello folks, so here I am again with a continuation of my story of my first day in the International Training Center of the International Labour Organization, so the ITCILO here in Turin. And I have just come back from dinner, which was really nice. There was a wide choice of food to eat, from pasta to chicken and fish, and there was even polenta, and there was different ingredients for salad, and a wide choice of cold and hot drinks, and desserts not to mention. So yeah, that was really nice. And I must also add that the prices, are really reasonable. And for everything that I had a salad, then I had a polenta with chicken, and I even went for a dessert, and it all amounted to like 12.50 euros, 12.50 euros. So that was really great, because you cannot eat that much for that price, certainly not in Geneva. And so it seems that here on campus with 20 euros you can have 3 meals a day. So this is something. Anyway, so after a very sumptuous dinner, and of course before dinner I went for the briefing to get general information about the center outside the courses. So they gave us information about the leisure times and the excursions that they offer. If I had known earlier about these excursions, I would have arrived a day or two before, because there's an excursion to Nice and Monaco, and it's just cost like 60 euros. And then on the Sunday there is another excursion by boat to Venice, which includes 2 boat rides and breakfast. And for that kind of price, and that goes for I think 95 euros, but for that kind of price you would never find an excursion to Venice anywhere in Europe as cheap and reasonable as that. So this is for next time, and there will be a next time, because there are all these different courses that I'm interested in coming to pursue, to follow, but today, this time round, it's on gender equality and women empowerment, and to be trained formally as a gender focal point, so that I can take the knowledge back to my organization UNHCR and launch a challenge and a call for action for other people to follow my example, that by the end of 2020, December 2020, where it will be a pivotal year in this whole gender equality and women empowerment movement, because it will be 20 years after the Beijing 25 years after the Beijing platform conference and platform for action. So it will be a good time to launch this challenge, so that by the end of December 2020 we will have not only one trained gender focal point in UNHCR, but hopefully we will have at least 10, 3 in the different headquarters, meaning 1 in Geneva, 1 in Copenhagen, and 1 in Budapest, and 7 others in the different regional bureaus, meaning in the Americas, be it Latin America or the other regions of the Americas, North America, Canada. Then there would be one for Asia and the Pacific, one for Africa, one for MENA, that is Middle East and Northern Africa, and then one for and then of course you have three offices in the African region alone. So we're talking of West and Central Africa, we're talking of East Africa and the Great Lakes region, and then we're talking of Southern Africa. So with all that, we're looking, and of course the Europe Bureau as well. So hopefully we will have 10 fully trained, qualified gender focal points who will act and become agents of change, and therefore will go with this optic, this lens of ensuring that our policies, our practices, our processes, our systems, are built with a gender positive, gender transformative lens. It's not impossible, it's not an impossible challenge or crazy. It can be done. The fact that I'm even here as the first in a while. The last time I heard anybody who had come to follow a similar course here in Turin was in 2016, and since then I haven't really heard much. So in all fairness, there isn't that much happening with regard to, we don't have a formal architecture or structure of gender focal points in UNHCR. And so the reason why I'm here is to first of all understand what the role of the gender focal point is, what the architecture is, learn from other organizations that have built a gender focal point architecture, that have some kind of a structure of gender focal points and how they work across their different operations and regions, and see how we can use that model or adapt it to suit our context. But at least we will then be able to say that we have fully trained gender focal points in UNHCR. So this is the challenge. So having said that, I was thinking this evening that this is not my first time in Turin. This is actually my second. But the last time I was in Turin, that was almost 30 years ago. Yes, believe it or not, that was almost 30 years ago when I first arrived in Geneva, Switzerland. And I remember that I met one guy who worked in the film making industry. So he was, the director of one of the then cinema houses, but that cinema house has since ceased to operate or to function or to exist. And I think there are some works now on one of these cinema houses to be transformed into something else, whether it's a modern digital cinema house, but it no longer functions, it's no longer in existence. But anyway, back to my story. I remember I met him, I don't remember how, but then he thought that I had potential for modeling. And so what he did was that he arranged for me to have a photo shoot so that I could have a portfolio of pictures. So, we drove to Turin, and he arranged for a professional photographer to take me. I was so naive then, and so we did the photo shoot. I still have the pictures there. I need to look for them, but anyway, so I took a series of photos, and I remember then it was a woman photographer who did the shooting, and she was like, oh yes, you know, this girl has a lot of potential, you know, her figure, her face and everything. But I remember distinctly that at the end she said to the man, you know, she could have been a good model, but it's her nose is a bit too big, you know. And so it's funny that almost 30 years down the road, I'm here, and this type of, as a model, but this time it's a different kind of modeling. This time is to learn how to be a gender focal point model, you know, so that I can take this skill, this knowledge with me back to UNHCR, not only to UNHCR, because this knowledge actually is applicable anywhere, you know, and it's not only confined within the UN system or circle, but it's applicable anywhere where you have people. And it's this kind of knowledge that I would like to share and to educate women and men of why it is important that, you know, the rights of the woman and girl, or the rights of women and girls, are promoted to the extent where they become as equal as they do as of men. Why gender equality is important, why women empowerment is important, why laws and practices and traditions, whether they are cultural or religious, that discriminate against women are wrong and out of place in this modern time, and especially since we're entering into this new era, the 21st century, where it becomes digital, and everything that we have known, whether it's in our relationships, with work, with people, with education, will change because of technology. And so it is an opportunity for women to make that leap, you know, and bridge that gender divide, that gap, you know, and to offer them that opportunity to get equal. You know, this is an opportunity, but women need to understand how to take advantage of this new era, how to position themselves better to be able to also benefit from this new way of life, this new way of life in this digital knowledge age, and so that they are not left behind and they are not left outside. So yes, I come again, but this time as a model, but in a different way. And so I just thought about that, and I said, hey, how interesting, you know, this is really interesting. 30 years down the road, I am coming on my own, sponsored partly by my organization and partly by myself, you know, and that in and of itself is something to celebrate, because there are not that many women who can sponsor their own training, who understand the importance of keeping up in their field of acquiring knowledge, or recognizing the need to fill knowledge gaps that they have, or even admitting that they do have knowledge gaps, but moving from this position of awareness and acknowledgement and actually doing something about it, like enrolling on a course which was selective and competitive, and having been selected, to actually make the commitment to come and to learn. And from there, from the learning, you know, there's the commitment to come with an action plan, whereby I will be paired with a tutor, a coach, to help me realize or bring to life this action plan. And my action plan is really simple. It's to let my organization know that, hey, there is this cause that, you know, we need to sponsor, we need to finance many more women or even men in the organization, UNHCR, to come and to be fully trained so that they understand the reason why it is necessary, that it is important that we have a network of gender focal points in UNHCR spread out across, you know, the organization, to ensure that, you know, the Secretary General's strategy and action plan on gender equality and women empowerment actually get realized, that actually get implemented, that they understood by everybody, and everybody works towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goal 5, that is gender equality and women empowerment. And that knowledge that they acquire and that they come to understand is not only limited to the workplace or within the UN system organizations, but it's taken outside to the private sector, it's taken to homes, it's taken to communities, so that people understand why there is that need to change history, to remake history, because history up until now has just been about men. It's about a world for men, by men, and yes, that was built for men, but now we're saying that the world has become bigger and that there is half of the population that are being left behind, the women and the girls, that men should now make room for women and girls, and that it is possible for us to live together equally, you know, even though we are different, but we can still work together on equal terms, ensuring equal opportunity for all, so that each of us, man and woman, together can reach their full potential, and that one shouldn't see the other as a threat, but rather should see the other as a partner. So this is really the message. And so right now I'm here to learn to articulate better the argument, the business case, the reason why it is important, you know, so that I'm able to sell this argument to others, regardless of gender or sex, so that we become a formidable team, both men and women, working together to bring about the achievement or realization of Goal 5 of the Sustainable Development Goals, being to bring about gender equality and women empowerment. So on this note, I am going to end this very, very long talk, but I thought that I had to say what I just did, you know, because looking back here, it's funny how I came almost 30 years ago and I'm here but on a different mission. And yes, I'm still the model, but in a different way, and still all about women, but showing women in a different light, you know. And so on this note, I will end this very, very long talk, but I thought it was necessary. Yes, I'm tired. I've had a very long day. I woke up very, very early. In fact, as early as 5:30, you know. And now it's almost, I think it's almost getting on for 9. No, it's 9:15 actually. So I will then wrap up. I'll go and have a shower, because tomorrow it will be the first day of the course and I would like to be nice, bright and early. And breakfast starts at 7:30 through to 8:45, and from 8:45 we make our way towards the Africa Pavilion. So I'm not sure whether I mentioned that before dinner. Another how do you call it, another student or participant in this course who is from Burkina Faso and works for the International Organization for Migration. We went for a walk around the campus. The campus is really big. That is the ITCILO campus. It's really big. It's a village in itself. So we did the tour, and so we saw where the African Pavilion is. And so that way, tomorrow morning, after breakfast, we will just stroll down with no stress. So voila. So I thought I will record today and share my thoughts, and as I learn about the tools, the systems, and the business case of why it's important to promote gender equality and women empowerment, I will share these learnings with you. And it's good to know that it's never ever too late, even to start to advocate. So voila, as late as it may seem, after 30 years I'm here in Turin, Italy, but on a different mission, still related to gender, still related to women, but in a different way. So like I said, I will wrap up now, have a shower, and then go to bed, and therefore I'll see you tomorrow morning on the first day of my training at the International Training Center of the United Nations International Labor Organization here in Turin, Italy. So see you tomorrow. Bye. So this brings me to the end of my very long chat on my very first day on the campus of the International Training Center of the International Labor Organization here at Turin, Italy. And so if you're interested in knowing how the course went and live outside the course on campus at the ITCILO, then do remember to subscribe to my channel and to watch the other videos I plan to post on my very unique experience at the ITCILO as a student. So see you in my next video. Bye.